Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mickeeva if you're new here, and in today's video, well, first of all, it is a chunky vlog. In fact, I think this is probably the longest video I've ever posted, but that is because not only are you getting a cozy studio vlog as always, but I've also included in this video a step-by-step of how I prep and print and make my stickers for my small business, Mickeeva Made. So if you've been watching the channel for a while and you've been curious about how exactly I make my stickers, every material I use, the paper I use, the Cricut settings I use, all of that is going to be covered in this video, so do stick around for that if you are interested in seeing how I make my stickers. Yeah, basically this is a cozy studio vlog. I do some drawing here as you see me working on this potential sticker sheet that I want to bring to the shop, and then I also print some bookmarks, and then we get into all the sticker making. So I will have timestamps down below so you can move around however you wish, but I hope you enjoy this cozy vlog and hopefully I will see you all soon. We got our matcha and I got an order last night, so I'm going to pack that up today, but I am missing 2 stickers that I need to restock for that order, so I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Go ahead, restock those, and so I can go ahead and pack that order. And for the rest of the day, I'm going to be working on test printing a few more bookmarks, potentially some new stickers that I designed. So today might be a big test. Today I want to be a big test day, so I need to get my butt in gear and try and make all the products so I can take pictures of them and get it up on my Etsy in time. So we have a task ahead of us for this week. So that's what I'm going to work on right now. So let's go ahead and make those stickers for the order. So it's the next day and I got up this morning and I'm determined to finish these bookmarks today. So I've been working on finishing up the lettering part of it and also the back side of the design. So these are my previous other designs I test printed the other day, and this is what the back looks like. I just wanted it to have like a colored background and just have like 1 or 2 illustrations from the actual design with my logo and something like written underneath it. So that's what I've been working on for the designs that I haven't test printed yet. So I finished the text part this morning. I hand lettered or wrote out the text here. I think I really like it. I decided to go, why can't I talk? I decided not to go with a font for these, and I'm glad I did because I think having this handwritten style is just more my vibe. And so that's for that one, and the back of it is going to look something like this. I'm still kind of deciding on what I want to do here. And then this is the other one, and for the back of that one, we're going ahead, but I'm going to go ahead and write out the back of that, and then we can finally print these today. I feel like I've been saying that for weeks and yeah, there's just so much like steps that goes into like designing something or designing a product. There's just a lot of like lots of different steps to it, and I just really want to take my time with it. I want it to be something that I really love, that I'm proud of. So I'm glad that I just kind of took my time with it, and I feel like I like them a lot better now in the direction that they're going in. But yeah, I'm excited to launch these, and I hope you guys like them as well. Okay, so I just did my first test print of the newer designs, and this is what they look like. So this is the 1 chapter at a time one, and this is what the back looks like. Now on one of them my ink did something weird, so I'm not sure what's going on there, and I might have to look into that. But this is this design. I realized that the texture of the laminate is not my favorite. I definitely wish I could get just like a less textured, like really nice clear matte one, you can still like see the texture of the laminate, and also the ink, like because of it's soaking into the paper, it kind of warped the paper a little bit, so it looks a little bit weird on the back side of it. So it didn't turn out too good on this first test print round. And this is what the other ones look like, and I love this design as well. It's the same thing, just different colors. But yeah, those are the test prints. Finally test printed these, which feels good. So yeah. Good morning, guys. So today is sticker day, which means I don't know if I'll get to test printing all the stickers today, but what I am going to focus on is like editing all the stickers, like things that I've made in my sketchbook that I want to turn into stickers, things that I painted that I want to turn into stickers, like everything like that. A lot of them I already have scanned into my computer, and I'm going to basically be taking them in Photoshop, cleaning them up, bringing them back into Procreate, cleaning them up even further, and just prepping all the stickers so that I can test print them soon. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully I can test print them tomorrow. If we get to it today, that would be amazing. But I already have a pretty busy day with other things that I have to do, so I doubt I will get to printing them today. But if you guys remember, I have my book lovers sticker here, and I thought I had scanned this in already, and I have not. So I'm going to do that right now. And what I'm going to try and do today is take you guys along with me the whole process of how I prepare my stickers for print. So if you guys are interested in seeing the behind the scenes of that and how I go about doing it, then keep watching. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and scan this into my computer and bring it into Photoshop, because that is, I guess, our second step of the process. The first step obviously is to paint this, which you guys have seen me paint in my previous videos, and if you haven't watched that yet, I will link it in this video. But I painted this, and now I'm going to scan it, which is going to be the second step of the process. So let's go ahead and do that. For scanning everything, I use image capture. It's the default scan software for Mac, but these are my usual settings for things, especially for stickers. I keep it at 600 dpi. It doesn't even need to be that high. It could definitely be 300, but yeah, just for stickers I just keep it at 600. And I always scan all my things as TIFF, just because I've heard that retains the most information because it's like the largest file type. I don't know. A lot of places recommend saving it as a TIFF, but the downside of that is that it's crazy huge. So if you wanted to do it as a JPEG or even something else, you could. But I just leave it as a TIFF. And I have like a designated folder that I send all my scans to, and I just name the file. And so before I scan this, I just need to tell the printer where I actually want to scan. So I would just go around it like that, and that's plenty fine. It's upside down right now, but it doesn't matter. You can flip that in Photoshop. And those are the rest of my settings right here. So that is it. And now I just click scan. Okay, so here's my scan. I'm going to unlock it because it's on a background by itself. So the first thing I'm going to do is just like save my file. You can save TIFF files in the Photoshop cloud, so I usually just change it to Photoshop file and then save to my cloud documents. And you can see all the scans here that I'm working on right now. So once that's saved, the first thing that I'm going to do is just remove this white background. So a lot of times I can just use the AI feature here to remove background, and that works. And in this case, it's like removing too much. So what I do is just click this plus arrow right here. I'm just gonna add back in what it took out that I didn't want it to take out. It's okay if I grab some of that white background. I can remove it later. Here, right here. So I'm just like going over the sections that I removed. Next, what I'm gonna do is just rotate it, just like, okay, I'm gonna actually use the eraser tool, to just kind of even further get rid of that white section. It's okay if it's not perfect. When I bring this into Procreate, I can get a more cleaner cutout around the edges here. But this has done a pretty good job, I think. Next, I'm going to use the spot healing tool. I love this tool. It's the keyboard shortcut for J. And what this does is it magically removes like any kind of imperfection. So this dot right here, sometimes if I have hair that gets on my art, I can just use the spot healing tool to just like get rid of certain points, like this like brush here. So I usually just go around the entire scan and just clean it up. You don't have to do this too much, because I think the charm of like hand painted things is it has a little bit of imperfections. Okay, so once I'm done cleaning up the scan, the next thing I like to do is adjust my colors. And for this part, I usually like to have the actual artwork in front of me just so I can compare. For this scan, it actually did a pretty good job of like keeping the vibrancy of the colors, which is nice. But I'm still just gonna go in and tweak a few things a little bit. So I just go up here to image adjustments, and I do, if I need to feel like I need to adjust like the brightness and contrast, I can do that. In this case, I actually feel like it's a little bit too bright, so I'm going to turn that down. Sometimes I increase the contrast because again, that scan is going to take away some of the vibrancy, so I think that's good. Then I just keep going through all the different adjustments, and next I usually do saturation a little bit. There we go. This one didn't need a ton of adjustments. I have all of these other scans to work on right now. So basically what I just did for my book lover sticker, I'm going to do for everything else. So something that I did forget to show you guys is if I ever feel like a color is off, like from the original, there are ways that I adjust the colors here as well. You can go to color balance and you can start to kind of like play around with some of the colors to kind of get them to where you want them to be. And again, I'm just checking the original artwork beside me just to kind of match them a bit, or I can always change it depending on what it is that I want to do. There's also a way you can adjust colors over here in the adjustments panel. So I usually do selective color, and then you can choose like what you want to adjust. So if I want to adjust green, I could start playing around with my greens here, or if I wanted to adjust yellows, I could do that here. But I think I'm going to leave it as at this. I think it's pretty good and pretty close already to what I want. Okay, so I brought in all my scans, and I did forget to mention that if you ever want to see if like the edges of your stuff is cleaned up, just put it on a dark background and you will kind of see the problem areas. But for these, I'm not too worried about it because I'm going to clean it up even further in Procreate. For this one, I can tell like I want to adjust it even further, so it's looking like really dull there, and just bring about a pop of color. Sometimes I do further adjustments in Procreate, but what I want to do is clean this up a bit. I want to clean up the words, obviously. So usually I'm just going to completely paint over the words here just to make it look nicer and neater. And anything else that I feel like I want to clean up the edges of, I'm going to do that right now. next sticker that I want to work on, which is the ketchup bottle. And I was just like browsing through my Procreate brush library to try and find a brush that will match artwork close enough so I can make edits over it without it looking too obvious. And I found this brush. It's in the drawing section and it's called the gloaming brush, and it mimics my marker texture really well. So this is what it looks like. It kind of has like a paper texture, which if you can see the paper texture like through the scanned artwork, so I think it will blend in really nicely. So I'm just gonna like go over the edges and with this brush. So definitely take a look around your Procreate library to kind of find a brush until you find one that matches whatever medium you use to create the artwork. It just blends in really nicely. And then another thing that I wanted to mention is that I always do my edits on a separate layer, just so I can go back and change things. Like I usually do it by color, so each color will have its own layer, just so that I can have full control of what I want to go back and change if I want to change anything in the future. So yeah, just keep that in mind. It's a lot easier to do that if it's on its own layer. Okay, so we are in Cricut design space. So after importing and uploading all of the stickers that I want to test print, I usually do them all in one go as much as I can, just because it just makes it easier for me. So the next step in this process is I'm going to go over here to the shapes and I'm going to select a rectangle. I'm going to make this rectangle 6.25 by, well, first I have to unlock that, by 9.75. And this just allows you to get the maximum amount of space on your sticker paper, which is going to be 8.5 by 11. And I just kind of make it a lighter color because it's just easier for me. And then I'm just going to left click that and send to back. And then I'm going to select all of the stickers that I've already resized. So the next step in this process is to add the sticker border to them, your offset line. But I know that for the lemon sticker, I'm not going to do that because I'm just going to use bleed for that, because I want the lines on this sticker to be pretty thin, and same for this one and for this stamp one. So when it comes to adding the sticker lines, you can either do it by yourself by using Procreate, Photoshop, whatever tool you use, or a lot of times for me, I just use the Cricut software. So I just click each sticker and then I'm going to go up here to offset, and I usually do, I think, 1.15 for my offset. Sometimes I just kind of play around to see which I want, but I think I'm going to do 1 point this time around, so 0.10, and I always leave it on corner. Then I'm just going to hit apply, and that's what it's going to look like with the sticker line around it. And obviously we do not want that ugly black color, but you can already see here that it didn't completely get everything, and I'm going to show you how I make sure that it doesn't do that. So first we're going to click the offset, and we're going to go up here and we're going to change it to basic cut, and then we're going to select it and we're going to go over here where it says contour, and then I can select each of the little spots that it didn't get, and just now it's all filled in. And so we're going to change that back to print then cut, and then I'm going to change the color, and for this one I'm just going to do a white. And then the last step is to select both the offset and the sticker and just hit flatten. And so that is how I get my sticker lines. That's one done. I'm just going to go through and do the rest for each of the stickers. So this is where sometimes I use the offset feature in here, and sometimes when I'm not happy with how it does it or how it makes the lines, I will do it myself in Procreate. Yeah, I think this is good to go. So these are all the stickers laid out here. And so what I do next is I hide this square layer. Then I select all the stickers, make sure everything is selected. Then I do attach, then make. And now we're going to print everything, and I'm going to go through my print settings that I use. I'm going to hit continue. And for this point, we're going to wait for it to pick up the Cricut. I never move forward until it absolutely picks up the Cricut and it stops spinning. So just be patient. And then I hit send to printer. I always click add bleed. Whenever first started making stickers, there were so many videos that told me to unclick this, and that was the biggest mistake. The Cricut needs to have room for error, like, so if it goes off slightly, it will show the white of the page, and you don't want that. So always add bleed. Some people do it manually in Photoshop, but I just use the automatic Cricut feature here where it automatically adds the bleed around your stickers. You always just gotta try out and see what works for you too, but this is what works for me. And then I always click or check use system dialog, because that's how I make my settings for my printer. Okay, then we hit print, and then it's always going to pop up behind it, so you always got to minimize it, and it's going to pop up in front here like this. Okay, so for my settings, again, every person's printer is different, but I just do rear. I always feed it through my rear because I don't want it to jam or anything, because I use pretty thick paper. I always use semi-gloss because to me that gives me the best colors, and I do best quality. And then just hit OK, and that's pretty much it. And then print. So it's currently 4:58 p.m. and it's my second matcha of the day because I just felt like I needed some fuel for this next part. We need to get these stickers done, and I thought it would just be a lot easier to kind of show you what I do as I do it. It's just way simpler that way for me. So before I get printing these stickers, I'm just going to do a quick rundown of everything that I use to make the stickers. So all my materials and equipment, you could say. The first thing is my printer. And I've had this printer ever since the beginning of my business. It's kept me well. It's the Epson XP970. It's a really great printer. The quality is incredible. The only downside I would say to this printer is that it uses ink cartridges, so it's pricey on ink. So definitely keep that in mind. I think that in the future I want to get the Epson Eco Tank models instead, because I've heard that it's way more cost effective and the ink lasts a lot longer. So definitely do some research into that. And you guys know my trusty Cricut. This is the Cricut Explore Air 2, I believe, if I have that correctly. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, it's the Cricut Explore Air 2. And again, I've had this since the beginning of my business and it's kept me very well. I have yet to change out the blade. It still works great. So yeah, thumbs up there. I just feel like with my glasses on today, just like a grandma. I don't know. That's the vibe that I'm getting here. Anywho's, moving on to sticker paper. Had to go dig in there for a bit, but as an avid watcher of my channel, a lot of you guys have probably heard me talk about the sticker paper a ton. But the sticker paper that I use is PPD's matte sticker paper. Out of all the sticker paper that I've tried, and I've tried a ton, this one has been the most impressive to me because it is super thick. And because it's super thick, I have to change my Cricut settings to accommodate for the thickness of this paper, especially because I laminate all my stickers, so it's even extra thick. But that means that the sticker just feels super high quality, and my customers have all had positive things to say about the quality of the stickers. So I owe it all to the sticker paper because it just makes the stickers just feel so much nicer and just more premium quality. So definitely recommend this sticker paper. So that's what I use. And then for laminate, so I laminate all my stickers and I get this matte laminate on Amazon. This laminate has a slightly kind of like a textured coating to it. It's not completely like this matte kind of material, but I still really like it. It just makes my stickers look really good, and again just adds a little bit more thickness, and they just feel like really premium when I use this laminate. So this is the one that I use. There was this like one time that this like laminate was out of stock on Amazon for the longest time, and so that's when I realized like I needed to have like some kind of a backup laminate. So I went digging and researching, and I found another laminate that I also really like for stickers, and it's the Guard 215 matte laminate. I believe there's also a 210 one. There's like different ones, but the 215 one is what I got. But this one is a type of laminate that's like completely matte. So if you don't like kind of like a textured matte, you can try this one out because it's just really smooth, and I love it for that reason. Love both of these laminates, and they're great options. My matcha right now is like silky smooth, so good. Now that we've talked about that, we can go ahead and print these stickers. So we have our first print done. I can already tell that I'm gonna have to adjust some of the colors, because when it comes to printing on sticker paper, sometimes the colors just need a little bit more tweaking before you get them correct. And so there definitely are some colors here that are just not how I want them to look. So this is why we test print, so that we can figure out what we need to change going forward. We're going to still move forward with laminating these right now, and I'm going to show you how I do that. I feel like this video is like super chaotic, but I might do a separate video from this, but you know what, it's okay. So when it comes to laminating, this is a laminator that I use. I got it from Amazon. It's from the brand Blexi Beaks to Poopadu. I have no idea how you pronounce this name, but again, I will link everything down below. But this is what I use. It has both a cold and hot setting, and you just kind of switch it to whatever you need. For my stickers, I always do cold setting, and then for my bookmarks I use hot setting, but for those stickers we stick to cold. So just gonna plug this in and moving on. So for my laminate, I have a strip already cut. When it comes to this laminate, I realized that the Cricut isn't too picky about it. It can pick it up pretty much even if it's over the line, so I don't have to be extremely cautious about getting it exactly in between the lines, but I know for some laminates you do, so you just gotta try it out. Okay, so the next thing that I want to run you guys through is my actual Cricut settings to print my stickers. So the setting that I use is always the foil poster board, but I'm going to show you exactly what I do. You're going to go to browse all materials. You're going to click material settings, and within the setting you're going to scroll all the way down to find it again. I don't know why it's like this, but yes. These are the exact settings that I use. It's on 350 as the cut pressure. It's on 2x, and I use the fine point blade. But if you don't see the settings and you want to change them, you need to go into edit, and I have my all the way up to 350, and it's on 2x, and I use fine point blade. So that is the settings that I use. That's what I do. And you can bookmark it so that you don't have to make those changes over every single time that you need to do your stickers. So I have it saved here. So I'm going to select that. Always change my pressure to more. And so that's the final setting that I change. And that is how I print pretty much all my stickers using the PPD matte sticker paper, because it is so thick. Yeah, hopefully that was helpful. Sometimes you just gotta play around with your settings until you find what works for you, and this is what works for me. This is the first batch of test stickers for the new shop update. So we have a little ketchup. I of course made my own sticker version and own packaging design for a cute little ketchup. Then we have this like lemon little patch sticker that I made or painted in my sketchbook. And for this one I did two versions, one with like a thicker border and one with a very thin border. Then this one, which I test printed in another video, and it's my little daffodil sticker. Have it as the thank you card, so they match. And then we have another new one, and again this one I'm going to redo the cut lines in Procreate. And then we have this one, which I want to make bigger and change the colors on this one because the colors are just not how it looks. And then same for this one, make it bigger because I think it's just too small, but it's nice, cute, and dainty. But yeah, this is my little tomato soup with flowers sticking out of it. And then this one is a strawberry one, and for this one I'm just going to make the border thicker, so I think it's a little bit too thin. But yeah, I will say pretty successful test run. I'm going to probably keep working on these. Thank you guys for joining me along the journey. I hope that showing you kind of like step by step how I make my stickers was helpful for you. I might do a full dedicated video on this if you guys will want that, but I thought that would be a lot easier to do it vlog format, just so it's a lot easier for me. I don't know why I'm just like so nervous about making a full-on dedicated video, but I can totally do that if that will be helpful for you to see. I'm gonna keep working on these, keep test printing them, adjusting the colors, getting the sizes correct, all of that stuff before they are fully ready for the shop update. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me while I make some stickers in the studio today.